just thinking about those
What did you
beans.
do at school this year, young lad? I found 30 beads, sir.
Welcome back, everybody, to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. We're trying to find more
What?
beans.
Harry Potter, the Bean Boy.
Harry Potter and the Bean Man.
The Bean Man? Who's the Bean Man?
The guy that
Is it
sells the
this dude in
magic
the
beans.
portrait?
class we've got first. It's potions, Harry. Ron can show you the way. Have you seen this notice board?
The part of the reason that I didn't like Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is
Okay.
that most of the things that you would expect to happen, right,
Yeah.
are just it's like bad uh Last Jedi syndrome where
Okay.
there are subversions for the sake of nothing other than to be shocking. They don't
Yeah,
elevate
okay.
the story or like add anything to it in any way. It's just there to be like, oh, you thought this was going to happen, but this happened instead. Oh, ho, ho, aren't we
Oh,
smart?
subverted you.
And that's
Deal with it.
basically like it feels like all of those subversions are the reason why the story has to go to time travel because it's like, okay, well, you keep flipping shit on its head, so I guess if you want to change things, that's how we're going to have to go about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe I should read it. I mean, they're probably going to eventually make it into a movie in like a couple years
No.
when the actors have aged up a little bit.
They they already made had it as a stage play and it didn't do well apparently.
Yeah, because it's not a movie.
Yeah.
I think if they had everybody on board to come back and reprise their roles,
But the
people
adults
would
are
be in.
barely in it. They would be there for maybe like 10 minutes of the movie
Okay.
unless they tried to find some way to rewrite the script to make them in it more.
A wizard card.
A wizard card.
Everything hinges on the adults. Like it's still a story about Harry Potter and all the shit that happened to him,
Okay.
but it's about his kids and other people's kids. And so it's like, okay, well, you wanted to continue telling the story, but you made your characters too old to reasonably have them go on magical adventures. They're adults; they have lives to lead now. But I guess a new batch of kids going to Hogwarts is the perfect excuse for more magical adventures. But
Right.
there's no original things happening to these kids besides extensions of what happened to their parents.
Gotcha. Yeah, and the deal with like you probably saw this that the Fantastic Beasts is becoming less and less about the main character of Newt. It's becoming
Yeah,
more of a Dumbledore history origin thing. It's like
I when I
okay,
somehow found the trailer for the new one and I was like, okay, I guess I'll see what this is about. And isn't it called like something of the Secrets of Dumbledore or
yeah,
some
it's
shit like
called
that?
Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Like it's
But
this Fantastic Beast part is like in Type 4 font,
yeah,
and
when I watched
everything
the
else is
trailer, I
like
noticed that
30.
when they pulled the title up at the end, it was like the fucking ball sack of Dumbledore, and Fantastic Beasts was tiny in the corner.
Yep, and I'm like, okay, so is this still about the dude from the other
Oh God,
movies?
no!
No,
Oh
right?
no, no, no! It is not about Newt Scamander or whatever and his Fantastic Beasts. This shit is about hey, we got to set up Harry Potter.
We gotta get Dumbledore in there. We gotta see his mom
Like
dying. We gotta see him.
we gotta have characters that are directly responsible or related somehow to Voldemort because we gotta have it.
Snape's headed to Slytherin House. They say
I've never seen those movies. I just
we'll be able to see if it's true.
and I think that kind of shows my level of interest.
I didn't mind the first one. I know I saw the first one because I was like, oh, sure, I'll dive
The
back
first
into
one
the.
seems the most interesting to me because it is about this character going after Fantastic Beasts. It's not
Yeah,
so much about
he's like
like,
the Charles Darwin of the Wizarding world.
yeah, that sounds great. That's exactly like kind of my idea for what Star Wars has been forever.
Soon find out that some wizarding families are better than others.
I wanted like in the books it was always the most interesting when they were talking about like, oh, they're in class and they're like, oh, what don't you do with a werewolf? It's X, Y, and Z because of these reasons. I was like, now this is what's interesting.
Yeah, the
I
world building and like the different creatures are the most interesting part because centaurs like That's interesting to me. Unicorns are in this world. Dragons. I mean, they deal with it a little bit, but it's always a problem. It's nothing like
And
to like investigate more into, like how Newt does it. He like, I want to know how these things tick. Like I want to see how we can care for them instead of like see them as a monster that you think they are.
what was really interesting to me is that like a lot of there were some like more classical interpretations of these monsters, but others had like kind of a different spin to them. Like J.K. Rowling was like, okay, here's this creature that you've heard before, but here's my own take on it or how it interacts with this society.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the interesting part to me. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's see more of this. And then it got further and further away. It focused more and more on the Voldemort part of it, which was fine. But everything that's happened since those movies and those books came out kind of just flew under my radar.
Yeah. I think they hit me at the perfect time because I found out about them pretty early on, and then I followed them since. I think only the first movie was out on like VHS, and then the second movie came out the next year, and then I went with a few of my friends to it. And at that time, I was just reading maybe the first 3 that have been released, and like the fourth one was just going to come out. And I read the fourth one in just one summer, and I was like, I'm hooked. And then ever since then, I've just been. Jeez, the lighting on these kids are weird. It just distracted me so bad.
I saw one kid, his eyes were so shadowed, it looked like they were trying to make him a villain. Alan Rickman! What are you going to do about it, Snape? You only have like 2 responses. What are you going to do about
What are
it?
you going to do, punk, huh? What are you going to do?
I'll test your patience all day.
I'll
You're going to sit there and stew that brew.
stew the brew, buddy. These angles. I just want to get to some puzzle solving. Do some puzzles.
I just want puzzles.
We need to collect all those ingredients in time for the next potions lesson. We've got defense against the dark arts.
Nope.
and
Here's your puzzle. You got to get potions ingredients.
Yay! Okay, where do we go then, huh?
Come on, Harry. Professor Quirrell's waiting.
Oh,
That's the puzzle.
3rd floor. We just have to go to the 3rd floor.
Puzzle solved. Congratulations.
I think this is where we go.
Go on, Harry. You can do it.
I would love. It would be interesting to see a Harry Potter book solely as like, oh, here's a book about like this clerk, let's say, who worked in the Ministry of Magic for
Dude, okay.
hundreds of years.
Go on and talk about it, but I had the same idea, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my fanfic that I haven't even wrote, but like I'll tell you about it.
I just want to know, like, okay, who worked in the Ministry of Magic for years and years and years and saw a lot of shit and could say like, oh, Roswell, that wasn't aliens, that was wizard stuff, and we had to cover that up. And like, I want to see directly a lot of interactions of, hey, here's how we at the Ministry of Magic or whatever it needs to be have dealt with how we kind of keep ourselves a secret from the Muggle world, and here's how we've done that in the past. Or like Titanic, hey, somebody accidentally cast an ice spell. Oops, that was on us. Like, I don't know. I want a big account of like, okay, here's all this stuff that you guys don't know and that we've prevented you from knowing, like a declassified or something.
Very cool. We'll watch this scene, and we'll be back in the next episode, and I'll tell you, Wilson, and everybody else, my idea for a very interesting, maybe prequel, I guess you would call it, in kind of the same vein of what you were talking about. But something that has been addressed in the books that I just need more. I need more clarification. I need more deep lore about. I like. There's just an element of it.
You're so excited to like say it, but you don't want to say it.
I know. I'm close.
I know.
I know, baby. I'm still here, honey. I'll never leave
I've
you.
never left. I've never left Hogwarts.
I'll never leave Hogwarts.
I'm a student, full time.
Full-time student. This place is my home. Get out of my
I'm
home.
a martyr. I'm a martyr.
I will stay here forever.
I am Professor Quirrell.
Then return here to the classroom.
Classroom. All right. We'll be back in the next episode with more Harry Potter.